anything I do in life, I like to get results. And I also like to measure what's happening and then figure out how to make it better and better. So I'm going to share something with you today that's kind of personal. I don't think I've ever really explained this to anybody else the way I'm going to explain it today. Maybe pieces or parts, but not the whole thing. I have a certain system that I use when I'm going to ask God for something. So, number one, I get quiet. I find a place where I can be quiet. This is one of the reasons why I'm so attached to a lot of these breathing exercises, because over time they've allowed me to be able to get into that space pretty quickly. So I'll maybe spend 5 minutes doing a breathing technique, or I'm good enough now I can, because I've done it at some point during the day, I'll just settle into that space. So number one is to be quiet. Number two is not to be begging. What I found when I first came up with this technique is when I was trying to get pregnant, which took me 8 years. And so I was begging God, begging God, begging God, because, I wasn't getting what I'd organized my life to get, and that was to get pregnant with a child. So, and it was making me feel bad about myself. And I just didn't feel good begging. It just took the quality of life away from me completely. So instead of begging, I decided that I would choose, because something shifted for me then. It was like, this is not working. You've got to do better. So no begging. And then the second thing was I didn't want anything. I want this. I threw that out. No more. No need and no want. Those are two words that I really work hard to keep out of my vocabulary, because they are in the vocabulary of everybody else. I need this. I need a baby. I need this. And those are words of lack. And I didn't want anything of lack in what I was doing. So I would choose. I choose. And I would actually write it down as a sentence. And the sentence that I used then was, and of course I've had many sentences since, but the sentence I used then was, I choose to have a beautiful, healthy baby in my arms. And I will never forget that this child is yours and not mine. That's pretty personal to tell you that whole thing, but that's what I said over and over as I was working the system. So I'd choose it and I'd have the sentence. You notice it's really quick. You don't want to spend much time on it. You don't want to spend much time on this altogether. The third thing was, and I'll come back to that, the third thing that was that I didn't just choose it and ask for it. I also found that faith, the words faith or believing, I believe it's going to happen, they just didn't have any oomph. So I felt like I needed to be knowing. I needed to be knowing that what I'm asking for, that I deserve, that I'm asking with my authority, because whatever I ask for in this kind of situation, I deserve it. It's going to help someone, or it's going to help me. It's going to help our lives. So I don't have any apology for that. So you want to know that it's coming, not have faith, not believing, beyond that, knowing. It's as if you're reaching into the future and you're grabbing that and you're pulling it into the present. Only for a few seconds, but that's what you're doing. Reaching in, grabbing your vision and pulling it in so it's real and you're experiencing it in person for a couple of seconds. Okay, and that was it at that point. And you notice once you do it, it's really fast. You cannot spend a long time praying and or begging or whatever you do. You can't spend a long time, because as soon as you spend more than just the sentence and making it powerful like that, doubt will start to come in. Oh, but your FSH is too high. And remember what the doctor said, you don't have any eggs left. And all the doubts that you have, or if you had some, whatever it is, it's going to come in and it's going to start to weaken your request. You want to send a rocket of desire up to the heavens. And you know you deserve it. And whoever you're praying to loves you and wants you to have it. And you go into whatever you're doing with that feeling. Okay, little addendum to this. Since then, of course, I've had other things. And as I said, whenever I'm doing something, whether it's a Qigong exercise or it's meditating or it's doing this or it's learning about the herbs or sharing with people, I always want to keep doing better and better. So what I found was Not only did it make it fast, that made a big difference, but there was something else that I added into it, like a pinch of something when you're cooking, or like our herbal formulas, we put a pinch of licorice in. And that little pinch of licorice, which you'll see is in most formulas, makes all the herbs work well together. So the little pinch that I threw in was a pinch of gratitude, a pinch of happiness, a pinch of something that made me feel happy and grateful for what I had right now. So I would generate some of that energy after I quieted down. I generate some of that energy. I'd make my sentence with that little pinch of thought in it, or feeling in it, feeling, not thought, feeling in it. And that seemed to supercharge whatever I was asking for. And I seemed to get even better results. And then the last thing is that I think, I'm still not perfect at this, but I think that once I get this down, I'll have the whole thing. And there's an old Indian saying from India that says, you have control over the action, but not over the fruits. So you have control over your asking, your prayer, whatever it is. You have control over that, 100% control, and you say it and you ask for it and you know it's coming. But you don't have control over the fruits. And for me, that isn't that it's whether it's going to come or not, because everything I ask for always comes. You know, sometimes it comes with the same feeling that I had when I was holding that baby in my arms, or whatever I'm asking for, where I get what I need, but it didn't come in exactly the package that I thought it was supposed to come in, but I'm still getting it. I always get what I ask for. But I don't have any control over when it's going to happen. So sometimes I ask for something and it comes the next day. Sometimes I ask for something and it comes years later. Sometimes, you just don't know when it's coming. So that I'm getting better at releasing, and not, okay, I asked for it. Okay, where is it? What's the time? How many months? How many days? How many years? I don't do that anymore. Try not to do that anymore. That's a hard one. If anybody has some tips on how to do that, let me know. So at any rate, from my heart to yours, I hope something in this can help you, because I hear so many people that are so distraught and begging. And I just would love to have you have the experience of stepping out of that into your own authority, into your own power as a woman or a man, whatever. You need to know that you are, first of all, I believe everyone's doing a lot better than they think they are. And number two, that you deserve it. You deserve it. Okay? So I hope you have a wonderful day, evening, whatever it is. And this is Amanda from Radiant Wonder, and I hope you drop by and see us.